Adam Beasley in Pro Football Network, we had him on earlier in the week. He wrote something today, one of the little sub-headlines, should Miami Dolphins Mike McDaniel be on the hot seat with a loss? And this is what he writes. The above question would have been ludicrous a month ago. Even now, despite the idea getting traction in other outlets this week, it's polarizing, to put it kindly. Mike McDaniel is the first coach in 2 decades to get the Dolphins into the playoffs in back-to-back years. He's also revitalized Tua Tagovailoa's career and a fan base. But a loss Saturday would mean the second one and done, with McDaniel's vaunted offense disappearing at the worst possible time. Beasley writes, though, however, our sense is that Tua would be the scapegoat if the Dolphins fall on their faces against the Chiefs Saturday night. And Beasley writes, and rightfully so. Tua threw 4 interceptions in the season's final 2 weeks, and his stats against playoff teams this year are very pedestrian. What would a loss Saturday night mean for Tua's future and his future earnings? And might 2024 be a make-or-break season for McDaniel if the Dolphins go out meekly? I don't know. I don't know where I stand on it. What I said earlier, and I kind of feel, I believe Tua and Mike McDaniel have shown enough. Listen, I understand you want to go to the playoffs and win playoff games and get to the Super Bowl. But man, like, at what point do you say to yourself, this is headed in the right direction versus, yeah, start it over? Because who are you looking for, Solana, with a Mike McDaniel or with a Tua? Like, who are you looking for? You're looking for them, I believe. Like, you're looking for somebody who doesn't lead the league in passing. Like, I don't understand it. In my opinion, win or lose on Saturday night, Tua's, I believe, should be extended. I believe you should get that big sack. And Mike McDaniel's your head coach for a long time. That's my personal opinion. They lose Saturday night, Solana. You're kind of what? Wishy-washy on Tua? Both of them? Neither of them?
No, I'm not. I think Tua has proven that he could be a really good quarterback. And I think he's done enough where the Miami Dolphins aren't just going to say, well, we'll have you play on that 5th-year option, which, by the way, will he? You know, like, that has to be considered.
Where what? He would sit out? Because you can have him play on the 5th-year option, and then you could franchise tag him. I mean, you could really have him for the next 2 seasons without giving him a big extension.
But do you think he would? I mean, I really don't know, Hoch. Do you think he would risk? Because, I mean, look, he's proven this year he could stay healthy. And that, to me, was a huge piece of the pie, right? Can he stay healthy? He proved it this year. He can. But would he risk another major injury without having the guaranteed money? I don't know. I really don't. But I don't think that's going to be the situation.
If you were advising him, if you were advising Tua and they didn't give him a big extension, they said, well, we're going to watch and see how the 5th year plays out, what would you advise him to do?
Sat your ass down. Really? You were just the league leader in passing yards, quarterback rating.
And all the other quarterbacks in your class have gotten their extensions.
Every single one of them. And you're going to let your team, who just had the best season, arguably, since you've been there and well beyond,
since you've been there,
right?
Yeah.
Well beyond, they're not going to pay you. They're not going to reward you with what is deserved. So if I was advising them, I'd say sat your ass down until they pay you. But I'm kind of caught in the middle here, Hoch, because I see what Adam Beasley's saying, where he says, if I'm the Dolphins, I'd be cautious paying a B+ player like he's an A+ player. I think
that happens all the time.
Certainly. And the market dictates contracts in the offseason. It just does. You saw what Daniel Jones got. You're telling me Tua's not better than Daniel Jones?
I mean, the question you kind of have to ask yourself, Dolphins fans, is if you had a chance to get Justin Fields, because the Bears will draft Caleb Williams, does Justin Fields appeal to you more than Tua?
Not at all.
Not to me.
Not at
all. And I like Justin Fields.
Not at all.
But not to me. If Michael Penix was available in the draft, would you draft him and bring him up behind Tua and see if he could be the guy?
But I don't think that's a bad a bad way to go about it if you're the Dolphins. You take a flyer on a
Start
guy.
preparing for your next quarterback.
It's not start preparing for your next quarterback, but it's take a flyer on guys in the 3rd, maybe 5th round and have legitimate competition in the quarterback room. Look at a guy like Brock Purdy. They didn't draft him thinking he's going to be our franchise quarterback. They drafted him saying, well, our quarterback situation isn't exactly perfect, so we'll take a flyer on a guy, and who knows, somebody that they valued, and look what it ended up being. They found their franchise quarterback, somebody who's taken them to the number 1 seed in the conference. So
that stinks.
So I like if you're the Dolphins, I think you have to pay him. I do. And I think they're going to end up paying him no matter what happens on Saturday night. Because it's easy to say Tua's not the guy. Go find somebody else who is. Okay, tell me right now, who's available?
Well, that's my point. Because unless you're 100% certain, because I know what Tua can do. I mean, look at Denver. Look at the situation they got in with Russell Wilson.
But Hawk, if you're the Dolphins front office, you're Stephen Ross, you're Chris Grier. Do you feel, as great as he can be in the regular season, do you feel he can take you to that next level? And if you don't, then what are you doing paying him?
So I believe if I'm Stephen Ross and Chris Grier, I feel like I'm as close as I have been during my ownership tenure to getting to a Super Bowl or having an elite team. I feel like I'm as close as I've been. So I got to ride this hand out.
Yeah.
That's me. I know there's Dolphins fans who are impatient after 2 seasons, 3 of Tua, right?
Yeah. I mean, 4, but this is his 4th year, but missed a lot of last year. His rookie season didn't play every game, missed some time there as well. I mean, this is his 4th season, though. But, I mean, Hawk, big picture here. Truthfully, if I'm Stephen Ross, I allowed the tank Flores' first year, right? And the idea was what? You're going to tank, you're going to get 3 first-round draft picks, which they did, and in 2 to 3 seasons, you're going to be an elite football team. I mean, that's the idea of the tank, is it not?
And they were close to being an elite football team this season. They were at times.
Yeah.
They didn't end looking elite. That doesn't mean that can't change for the playoffs, by the way.
I would agree with that, but not with the route that they have to go. I mean, you're saying
if they go through the route that they have to go when they get to the Super Bowl, they're elite.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. And if you do beat the Chiefs, I mean, there's a serious case to be made with this not only being the best Dolphins season in 23 seasons, but this team actually being elite. I mean, you defeat the defending Super Bowl champions as injury-ridden as you are on the road. I mean, there's a case for it. At the very least, there's a case for it. I'm just not certain that the Chiefs are very good, and it means that you're elite. But you're telling me right now the Dolphins are going to go at KC win, at Baltimore win, and then probably at Buffalo win to get to the Super Bowl? I mean, good luck, bro.
You know what's going to happen, too, all these Tua haters and, Dolphins, everything needs to be blown up, which is the most ridiculous opinion in the world. If they do beat Kansas City, it's going to be, Kansas City stunk.
Yeah.
They had no business being a playoff team anyway. Can't win with this crew.
But when you look back, Hawk, because I was doing this yesterday, when you look back at the tank and the rebuild, do you call it a success?
Oh, I do. I understand. To really call it a success, you have to have a playoff win.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But you're telling me they're not miles better right now than what they were 4 seasons ago?
100%.
Miles better.
We've said it, bro. This is the most fun we've had watching a Dolphins team in a very long time.
Oh, there's the Darko Rajakovic rant.
It's a complete crap.
It's a complete crap.
That's what Stephen Ross will say if the Dolphins don't win a playoff game.
Listen, I get that. That's the worst possible outcome of this season, is being as good as you were and then not being able to, just pulling up lame at the end of the season and not winning a playoff game. There will be explanations that have to be given, but I do think they're miles better than they were 4 seasons ago.
By the way, Tua, speaking to the media right now, says he won't wear gloves Saturday for the frigid night in Kansas City. Quote, I think the whole thing is a mindset. We're doomed.
Because in all honesty, temperature is not a mindset. It's
Correct.
the actual temperature.
Clay Ferrero tweets, breaking, Tua will not be using Dan Marino's gifted isotoner gloves in Saturday's game.
Yeah. It's not a mindset. It's the actual temperature. It's not a mindset.
Mind over matter, Hawk.
Yeah, but no.
Mind over matter.
No.